So this afternoon, as you know, is the second step in our graduation trilogy. Today you'll have the opportunity to hear from a very special group of people, and that is our teachers. And so they will be expressing their appreciation for each of our seniors this afternoon. And in the context of doing that, they will announce awards that that particular student has been given from their students, from their fellow students, or from the teachers, or from our whole staff. So without further ado, we'll introduce our MCs for this afternoon. Our student body president this last year was Malat Gebramarian, and our vice president was Philip Weiner. But Philip has made a miraculous recovery from being ill last night. We're so glad you were able to present last night, Philip, and you're with us here today looking a lot better. But Caleb Molyneux is going to sit in as the other MC this afternoon. So please welcome Malat and Caleb.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Maharishi School Upper School Senior Appreciation Ceremony. My name is Malaka Bramariam, and this is Caleb Molyneux. We will serve as your Masters of Ceremonies for the 2017 Senior Appreciation Ceremony. I would like to now introduce Ms. Baumann to present several awards. Ms. Baumann.
Hold your ears. I'm going to start with some consciousness-based education awards. This first one is given to a student who has been with us from first grade all the way through 12th grade, and that is Caleb Molyneux. I'd like to invite Caleb Molyneux to come up and receive the award. We also have some Research and Consciousness Awards. Those are given to students who are practicing the advanced aspect of the TM program, and that's called the TM City program. And through that, they help create coherence for themselves, our country, and the world. And I'd like to ask Jeevani Rodriguez, Philip Weiner, and Drew Schoenfeld to please come on stage to receive those awards. This next one is a recognition of academic excellence, and I'd like to recognize and honor our highest academic achievers for the class of 2017. Please come forward, Jeevani Rodriguez, our valedictorian, and Alyssa Michael, our salutatorian. That's it. Thank you so much.
I'd like to introduce Navina Cole to present an award from Hawthorne Direct.
First of all, I'm very, very happy to be here today. It is a great honor. Excuse me, I have a little speech, so I'm out of order. My name is Navina Cole of Hawthorne Direct. I'm an employee there for several years, and we're located here in Fairfield, Iowa. We have an office in LA as well. And first of all, I would like to congratulate all of the graduates of the Maharishi School class of 2017. It is a great honor and pleasure on behalf of Hawthorne Direct to present this $500 Theater Arts Scholarship to Jeevani Rodriguez. All the best. I'm so excited for you.
Now, the Maharishi Upper School faculty will present the achievements and special qualities of each senior. At the conclusion of the appreciation ceremony, we will announce the Pioneer Award recipient for 2017, who will be our graduation speaker. First, I'd like to introduce Ms. Jones, Science of Creative Intelligence and Project-Based Learning faculty. Ms. Jones.
All right, and I'd like to ask Malak to stay up here. I've spent a lot of time with Malak over the past 4 years. Malak models servant leadership. She has been a joy to work with in and outside of the classroom, always prepared and engaged. She has grown as a leader and demonstrates qualities highlighted in this quote from business and leadership author Max Dupree. The first responsibility of a leader is to define reality. The last is to say thank you. In between, the leader is a servant. Malak is both observant and optimistic. She values balance, and it supports her consistent demeanor and her clear perception. When she defines reality, it is without complaint or complacency. She sees opportunities. She is among the most sincerely respectful students that I have known. Her respect for others, teachers, peers, younger children, visitors, is not showy, but is expressed as a genuine desire to understand and support. In between observing possibilities for growth and being appreciative, a leader is a servant. Malak is a leader of our school. She was voted by her peers to receive the Maharishi School Award for service. Years on student council have culminated in her position as student body president. She coordinates reliably with others and organizes service events within the community. She is president of our local Rotary Interact Club, and Malak also received the Iowa State Bar Association American Citizenship Award for most outstanding showing of the highest qualities of citizenship. Malak is enthusiastic about food security, education, and human rights. She is able to connect global issues to local action and has done so by participating in local leadership camps, organizing a workshop about self-acceptance, fundraising for water catchment systems in Africa, and building one in our greenhouse, and presenting her research on food security in Ethiopia at the Global Youth Institute Conference, where she spent 3 days talking to and sharing her ideas with world leaders and agricultural experts. Last year, she co-founded the Proud Club, people responding to our unique differences, and this year she has been collecting people's stories, promoting the benefits of diversity, and helping to organize a diversity workshop for independent schools in Southeast Iowa. She is always busy, even teaching herself how to code in JavaScript in her free time. She puts in weekly hours at her family's Ethiopian restaurant. Her high school career has also included 3 years of speech competition, varsity tennis, and volleyball, and one of the highest GPAs in her graduating class. That's a lot. That's Malak. I admire her integrity to hold herself to the same standards she expects from others, and her perseverance to continue when an issue is hard or uncomfortable. Continue what you have started. See clearly, appreciate, serve others. You have truly shaped our community at MSAE, and we will miss you. Malak will be studying foreign affairs at George Washington University next fall. As you wrote at the end of your letter to your future college self, you got this.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. I'd like to introduce Ms. Ellinghaus, Social Studies faculty.
I have 2 really special students to talk about today. I wanted to steal all of the ELLs, but they said I could only pick 2. And then I couldn't decide, so I let all the other faculty decide for me. But if I could get Jackson to come up on the stage. For once, Jackson, when I call you to the front of the class, class, I'm not going to ask you to do anything. You just have to listen to me talk, which you're good at. I first met Jackson when I first started working with Maharishi School. Dr. Bell approached me about running a speech club after school for some students who wanted to work on improving their public speaking skills and their English. So imagine Jackson over a year ago, slightly shorter and a little bit more rumpled. This nice, quiet boy was willing to slay the dragons of public speaking for no extra credit. He merely wanted to improve, and he was willing to show up. Jackson became this new teacher's hero the first day of speech club. No one was willing to go first, not a single volunteer. So there I am staring at a wall of blank faces, and I felt I had failed to engage the boys completely. Then Jackson the gentleman came to my rescue. His hand shot up and he spoke up, even though he was perhaps as nervous as me. Jackson has been a hero in my class ever since. When I think of a hero, I think of someone who is brave, kind, and empathic to those around him. And Jackson has brought those qualities to my classroom every day, usually just under the bell. He always likes to sit in the front row and is my go-to helper when I need an extra hand. Like a hero, he attempts to answer each question put to him, and he internalizes what he learns. Where other students memorize facts, I feel like Jackson makes a connection. I always looked forward to grading his essays because of his delightful ability to transform history facts into something real and human. In American history this year, students were tasked with transforming the biography of a founding father into a short video drama. Out of all the scripts, only Jackson's George Washington script was unanimously voted by the class as the video that they wanted to shoot. He truly managed to break away from a boring recitation of facts and tell an exciting adventure story with real heart. I will miss Jackson's easygoing nature and understated courtesy so much. Next year, some lucky Penn State professor will benefit from having a hero in her class. Please keep in touch, Jackson, and don't forget how proud you have made your teachers. I hope that you keep showing up, standing up, and speaking up. Ariel, could you come up? Doesn't she look beautiful today? I just have to say. In preparing this tribute, I reviewed the last 2 years of Ariel's work. In comparing her assignments, I was so satisfied. Much like a child looking at the progress her child has made in growth, standing up against the wall year to year, each new effort of Ariel's brought out a deeper clarity in her thinking, a comprehension in her writing, and a better understanding of the world. Ariel's always had a quick mind. She, from day one, has been the top student in our ELL social studies, history, and English classes. Sometimes I think both teachers and students can become complacent in our expectations for the year, but Ariel's continual attention to detail never failed to impress me. I knew that any project I set for her would likely earn an A. I had to spread her partnership with other students out so that every group would equally benefit from her most valuable player skills. Ariel brings good humor and a willingness to do the harder parts of the assignment to each group project. I relied on her to set the pace for the class often. When she worked independently, I could trust her to have her work completed, even if just by a hair. She has a desire to find the happy medium or the balance between work and play, which I so admire. In several assignments this year, I asked my students to evaluate themselves honestly, express their expectations for college, and explore their creativity. In Ariel's self-assessment, she explained the difficulties of keeping up with the breakneck pace of being a perfect student and how over time you can burn out. She correctly and aptly realized a truth I think not everyone has the courage to face. That, in her words, you can do anything you put your mind to, but those things will only happen if I give effort to it. To achieve my goal, I must recapture my good habits. I think we all must recapture our best selves every day. Ariel inspires me to keep fighting for that balance between a work life and a play life. I know that she will find this balance next year as my big fish moves to the much bigger waters of the University of Indiana at Bloomington. She plans to study business. And watch out, world. I wish you all the best in your pursuits, Ariel. Please know that you have the love and luck of your teachers behind you. Keep listening to your dreams and keep the good counsel of the pure and royal heart, which both you and your fictional protagonists this year have shared.
Thank you, Ms. Allenhouse. Now I would like to call upon Mr. Blake, Science of Creative Intelligence and Project-Based Learning faculty.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a senior by their toe. If they holler, don't let them go. Please rise, Mr. Caleb Molyneux.
Everyone who has spent time here in Fairfield knows Caleb Molyneux. We've seen him on stage, in the films, in sports fields, and in the news for his accomplishments. In case you missed it, the Heartland Boys production was easily the funniest show west of the Mississippi this year. Caleb's accomplishments are a long list. Going beyond the Mississippi, Caleb and his team became world champions this year in Destination Imagination. Congratulations, Caleb. I'm here, however, not to tell you about what you already know, but to give you a glimpse into the qualities of Caleb Molyneux that you might not have had the good fortune to have experienced just yet. In my conversations with various teachers, there was one word that always came up when speaking about Caleb. That word is presence. Everyone knows when Caleb walks into the room. And no, not because he's loud or obnoxious, but because he's one of those very rare individuals who have the ability to lead from their presence alone. Caleb elevates everyone around him just through his being. Caleb is often a silent leader. He doesn't need to dominate the conversation. But when he shares his thoughts and ideas, everyone listens. Caleb seeks the highest first and sets his goals extremely high, but I think one of the most endearing qualities of Caleb is that he's always willing to meet everyone where they are and help them reach for the stars. Caleb's natural ability to elevate those around him, have brought the endeared Mr. Wilkins to say that Caleb is always the heart of the team. Speaking of teams, if this senior class was an NBA basketball team, Caleb would be LeBron James. Charismatic, funny, a natural leader, he makes everyone around him comfortable, but he's clearly better than you at everything. It's Caleb's natural leadership, his being, his presence, that we've all come to love most at this school. In a class full of creative talent, Caleb, your peers voted you the most creative in the class, and I hope you get to continue expressing your creativity in many forms next year at St. Olaf College in Minnesota. In his speech last night, Caleb, you said that you're made up of stuff, and that Fairfield and everyone here in this community has been a big contributor to his stuff. I consider myself lucky to have given you some stuff this year, Caleb. I look forward to giving you more stuff and seeing what stuff you have to share with the world. Congratulations on all you've achieved, but most importantly, congratulations for who you are. You'll be missed.
Thank you, Mr. Blake. Now I would like to call upon Mr. Black, Social Studies faculty.
It gives me great pleasure this afternoon to speak about Lily. Lily, would you please come up? First met Lily in the fall in our music performance class. In this class, the students needed to not only learn how to play the guitar in 8 weeks, but to compose and sing an original song. Lily rose to the challenge and wrote and sang a beautiful song in her native Chinese language about the fight against animal cruelty, a subject that I think she's quite passionate about. This spring, Lily was in my economics class, my senior economics class, and she did very high quality work and turned in some excellent writing assignments. In this class, we played a semester-long stock market investing game. Each student was given $100,000 to use towards purchasing different stocks. And there was a great deal of fun and enthusiasm for this game. Lily stayed focused and determined, and at the end of the quarter, Lily came in first place, earning more than $30,000 over a 4-month period. She really blew the competition away. There was about a $7,000 margin between first place and second place. So great career potential here, Lily. I have a feeling that everything you touch in life is going to turn to gold, so good going. As I got to know Lily outside of the classroom, I discovered that she is a natural hostess and facilitator. She enjoys giving and sharing with her friends and her community. Last quarter, a large group of us went up to Iowa City, and we decided to eat at the Szechuan House. Ms. Bauman and I were really impressed with the way Lily assumed a leadership role. She helped students order food, made sure everyone was comfortable, interacted with the staff, and sorted out the finances. Lily really took charge, and everyone at the table was able to enjoy and relax and sit back and enjoy our meal. Mrs. Cornell has been involved with Lily teaching throughout the year, and she says that nurturing others is one of Lily's natural talents. She knows how people are feeling because she has a very sensitive and gentle heart. She's a loyal friend and a problem solver who advocates for other students, clearly explaining their issues and suggesting solutions. Ms. Cornell told me that she has a deep love and respect for Lily because she knows the secret of life. Be kind and caring for others. She said, Lily burst into my classroom 3 years ago, all light, laughter, and energy. Now she is a truly beautiful young woman on the inside and on the outside who will help people be happy and enjoy life. Lily has so much pride in her country of China and her native city of Beijing. She will return there tomorrow and has invited many of us to visit her there. Lily will be a perfect tour guide and will make our visit fun and interesting. Lastly, Lily, we hope that you will visit Fairfield, Iowa again. We love your unbounded energy, your joyful way you celebrate life, and your fun sense of play. We will miss you very much, and I wish you all the best. Congratulations.
Ms. Borg, Mathematics Faculty.
Madeline. Madeline Stood is someone I look up to. Her quiet, consistent kindness and helpfulness are appreciated by her teachers, peers, family, and extended community. Madeline is the most gracious human I have had the privilege to meet. She elevates everything she takes part in with a smile on her face, no matter how difficult a customer, how long she has been on her feet, or how little she has slept. Madeline is a hard worker. When the school day ends and I'm going home, Madeline's workday often begins. Nevertheless, she does her homework and comes to school ready to transcend and to offer cheer and support to her classmates and teachers. She never says an unkind word or complains, and I've often heard her talk about how much she loves her family and appreciates her friends when they're not there. She only works to put others at ease and ask how to move forward, and went very quickly forward in our personal finance class. She doesn't ever really talk about how hard she's working, or say anything about customers. It's just that I've noticed that she does it. Madeline is humble. Her helpfulness is quick, without a second thought. One morning there was a leak in the ceiling outside the meditation room, and Madeline was late that day. And when I came out, there was a very nicely arranged trash can with paper towels to sop up the wet spot. And I had no idea who had done that and who was at the school that early, besides me and the students. And a couple of hours later, Madeline just casually mentioned, "Oh, that leak was bothering me, so I took care of it before I came in." Madeline is grounded, practical, and thinks holistically. Her sustainable living teacher, Karen Price, says Madeline is never fazed in learning about the issues of the world because she easily sees the interconnectedness of everything, but she knows how to break down the pieces to solve the challenge. Her DI coach and ceramics teacher, Mr. Wilkins, has seen this firsthand with DI and admires the rareness of Madeline's character, someone who will give their all to supporting their team, stand by their friends, and quietly take others' visions and make them a reality. Alan Black says he's seen that Madeline can do anything she puts her mind to. Madeline is wise, kind, gracious, and practical beyond her years. I look forward to the twists and turns of your life as you choose them. I am moved knowing that your presence will make a better day for everyone you meet and move their hearts. I know you are not afraid to reinvent yourself. Please take Mr. Black's words to heart. Madeline, you've already fulfilled your childhood dream of becoming a cashier. We wish you the best in getting your doula certificate and in every direction you choose on your life adventure. We know your dreams will always have a strong foundation because you are the one building them.
Thank you, Ms. Borg. Now, Ms. Thatcher, Performing Arts faculty.
Jeevani. I have to get set up here. One of the most delightful jobs a Maharishi School teacher takes on each year is in the writing and the presenting of student appreciation speeches. It's my delight this year to talk about a unique and beautiful young lady, Standing right beside me, Jeevani Rodriguez. Jeevani is an all-round student. She is, as was mentioned, this year's valedictorian and is receiving the Governor's Scholar Award for having the highest academic achievement in her graduating class, and it's got a picture. She tackles sport with rare enthusiasm, participates in multiple after-school activities, all with her special blend of happiness and good humor. I first met Jeevani in her grade 9 speech class. It was clear from the first that this was an area she felt very comfortable in. And as time passed, it was even clearer that she continued to grow and express more mature and multifaceted interpretations in her acting. From a full-length musical, many varied competition entries to the Iowa High School Speech Association, to screen roles in the David Lynch MFA in filmmaking, she grew her talent in many valuable ways. For her many expressions of her craft and her valuable contributions to group ensembles in both music and acting, Jeevani is receiving the Virginia Buckley Award, presented to the outstanding student who is pursuing a career in the arts. This award is in loving memory of Virginia Buckley, a beloved middle school principal who loved and promoted artistic appreciation. Personally, Jeevani describes herself as shy, but on stage that shyness becomes her power. She is fearless and confident, clearly in a safe place where she finds her passion. Viola Davis, in her Oscar acceptance speech this year for supporting actress, recognized this passion and expressed what I've always felt about the value of theater when she said, quote, "We are the only profession that celebrates what it means to live a life. Actors who give people that rare insight share a spectacular dharma." Jeevani has been awarded the Happiness Award by her class, and I'll give this to you, happiness. And from the girls' class, the Science of Creative Intelligence Award. Science of Creative Intelligence. And I'd like to quote Ms. Jones, who said about this, "Jeevani showed her ability to think deeply and express herself clearly and creatively. Her work continues to be used as a sample in other classes." Cool. "With the skills you have gathered from all your academics and additional activities, your precious TM City program, the support of your wonderful parents, and a full tuition scholarship to the University of Iowa, sail forth, my dear. Your audience awaits."
Thank you, Mrs. Thatcher. Now, Ms. Price, Science Faculty.
Okay, big noise. Alyssa, come up. So this is the hardest part, I think. You have to stand there while I talk about you. So Alyssa Michael came to Maharishi School in 6th grade, having already lived abroad and in several different states. She was curious and well-read, a font of information on a variety of subjects, and simply raring to go. By middle school, her teachers recognized that they had a uniquely motivated and intelligent student on their hands. Barbara Hayes, her middle school teacher, commented, "Mr. Incorvia and I realized within a week of 7th grade that Alyssa was the smartest person in the room. Not the smartest kid, the smartest person. That forced both of us to become better teachers so that we could still serve her as a student. It was so much fun to teach her because all of her attention was on learning, not on grades. This hasn't changed in her 7 years since. It has only intensified. Alyssa is always analyzing, and when she finds an incongruency, she gets this thoughtful look, tilts her head toward the sky, and furrows her brow, and then I, as her science teacher, know some question I probably can't answer is brewing. She is a practical thinker. She hears about a problem and immediately starts dissecting it, locating the crux of the issue and devising ways around it. She is not one to dwell in the problem. She leaps to the rescue, and she's dauntless. Nothing is too complicated or too thorny for her to calmly take apart and evaluate. Mark Wilkins, her DI coach, related a story about her trying to fix a winch on the elevator from their skit this year. He said she took the whole thing apart and spent hours trying to make it work. She ended up needing to manufacture a piece to fix it, and he was impressed with her patience, determination, and perseverance. And those qualities brought their team to, she was part of the team as well that won the global senior division this year at DI, which is an enormous accomplishment. And I believe you've been to globals every year in the 4 years you've been on the team.
One year I didn't, that's because he beat me.
Interclass rivalry. Mrs. Hayes mentioned that as well, that Alyssa is undeterred by failures. She's the queen of iteration. In the fourth quarter of 8th grade, Alyssa designed her own project because she had completed the middle school science curriculum. In Mrs. Hayes' words, she decided to build a robot. She wrote a proposal for the project, including goals, timelines, and standards and benchmarks. She researched, experimented, built, redesigned, reconsidered, experimented, failed, built again, redesigned again, and again, and again. She did not complete all of her goals she set when she started, but I remember that she learned more than I knew about her project. She always had new, well-researched ideas to try. She did not waste time, and she never gave up. This, more than anything, is what will serve her well in the future. In some ways, I feel that what we've done as her teachers over the years is simply let Alyssa develop more fully into who she is. She really didn't need much guidance or facts and figures or even much coaching in academic skills. She just needed room to practice her brand of thinking and problem solving and for us to not get in the way too much. And look at where that's brought her. She's receiving the Social Studies Award today from her social studies teacher, Mr. Black, who says Alyssa has shown excellence in U.S. history and economics, not only in her highest GPA, but also in her enthusiasm and engagement with the topics and issues we have covered. She is also receiving the English Award, and her teacher, Mrs. Gosvig, said, from her first class writing assignment to the last, from literary criticism to magical realism, Alyssa always gave 110%. Her natural, creative, and analytical talents are buttressed by a work ethic that will carry her to Jupiter, should she so choose. And also the Science Award. Oops, sorry, I got an X. I knew you were going to say that. That's what I wrote here. I don't think she considers herself a scientist, but she has a scientific mind, questioning, identifying, analyzing, and creating. Alyssa is also courageous in pushing herself outside her comfort zone. She spent last year living with host families in Spain through the Rotary organization, and she shared her experiences at an assembly here at school. She reported that she thought she had been doing well, meeting new people and socializing, when her host mother brought her up short, pointing out that she was only meeting other Rotary scholars and not diving into Spanish culture. She took this to heart and found that it greatly intensified her experience and made her stay in Spain much more meaningful and formative. I also really admire Alyssa's honesty, both with herself and with others. She does not try to be anything more than her authentic self. If she doesn't complete an assignment on time, she doesn't make excuses. She simply apologizes and asks if she can have it in the next day. She is frank about her strengths and weaknesses and brave about improving herself. Steady, curious, well-organized, thoughtful, and an effective leader, Alyssa will surely go far. She has all the tools she needs to pursue any field. I hope you'll stay in touch, Alyssa, because I'm so excited to hear how you go about satisfying your unbounded curiosity and solving the problems in the world that you come upon.
Thank you, Ms. Price. Now I'd like to call upon Mr. Redloff, Mathematics faculty.
All right, so I would like to invite Philip Weiner to come up on stage. All right, so there are so many words to describe Philip Weiner, yet so little time to convey them. So I would like to highlight who Philip is to me, and actually to all of us here at Maharishi School, in 3 words: generosity, creativity, and leadership. So let's start with generosity. So I've had Philip in 3 of my classes: pre-calculus, physics, and calculus. And in each of those classes, he'll be the first person to actually complete his assignments. Yet he's also the very first person to reach out a hand and help others with their work. So he's always patient and kind, logical, and helpful. He'll find a way to shed light on a concept or problem and help his peers. Other examples, for example, Ed Hipp, his golf coach, told me how Philip helped a new Chinese student with the subtleties and nuances of the English language. For example, with, why am I drawing a blank here? Irony and sarcasm, that's what they were. Something you're not going to typically get in normal English class, right? Now, last summer, Philip also, in his golf pursuits, he spent time actually teaching young children golf. So Philip, you know, when I look at Philip, he's not only a big brother inside of his family, but he's a big brother to the entire world community. So, creativity. Philip is creativity. Now, creativity, flexibility, logical thinking, and problem solving, they all go hand in hand. And now with creativity, sometimes that means having to let go of past approaches and starting fresh, even if it's your own original design. So if you've seen this year's DI Global Finals, the first place performance, you'll see some real genius at work here. And what you didn't see, however, were all of the hours behind the scenes where Philip was teaching himself to write code, learning electronics, and systems integration, bringing that elevator project to life. Now, Mark will tell you that Philip built the elevator and subsequently scrapped it and redesigned it, ground up at least 3 times to achieve the desired effect. And even as he was headed off to Global Finals, I won't forget it, he was bouncing ideas off of me on the day that he was leaving with ideas on how to improve it, with no time to actually do anything about it, but he's still exploring that curiosity and refinement. So, genius, to me, is taking an idea and being absolutely unstoppable in bringing that idea into manifestation. So, Philip, you embody creative genius to me. Leadership. Now, this is where Philip thrives. He loves to be in a group setting. He's open, he's authentic, and he commands a positive influence on all of those around him. So whether it be captain of the golf team, managing a complex and ever-changing speech production, right? Vice president of the student council, to name a few. Philip seeks out leadership roles and is a model, and he's an inspiration to all of us. So it's no surprise that his peers voted that Philip receive the Leadership Award. Now, Philip, in seeking the highest first in mathematics, is the only senior to take on calculus, and naturally, and effortlessly it seems, he mastered it with an A. And so today he's going to be receiving the Mathematics Award. Additionally, Philip is earning the SCI Award for 4 years of dedication to Maharishi's knowledge. Philip's ability to think deeply and abstractly, combined with his enthusiasm to learn and expand his boundaries, has enabled him to understand complex ideas and how to actually apply those in his life in very tangible ways. So here we are. So Philip is headed off to the University of Iowa next year, and he's going to be studying industrial engineering. Now, he's already been accepted into that program, into the honors program. Not having even stepped on campus yet. So he's already an honors student in electrical or industrial engineering. And I do know a thing or two about honors and engineering, and I know full well the exciting challenges that lay ahead of you. And I am absolutely certain that Philip's going to achieve great success there at the U of I and well beyond that. So please, join me in wishing Philip success in all that he does.
Thank you, Mr. Rudloff. I now may ask Mr. Wilkins to come up, SEI of Science of Creative Intelligence, Art, and Project-Based Learning faculty.
Very attached to this whole class. But I only get to speak about 2 of them. So can I have Amber come up, please? Amber came to our school in 10th grade. Soon after that, she began to take the ceramics elective that I taught, where she worked quietly on small, intricate pieces. She wasn't much for talking to me, and at the time, so I got to know her from her work. We really didn't start talking for almost a year, during which time she kept taking my ceramics classes, and I got to know her as an artist. I have taught art to individuals ages 2 on up. Occasionally I have had the honor to teach someone who has a natural, intuitive sense of design and the ability to see as an artist in shapes and values, colors, forms, and textures. Amber is one of those people, truly an artist at heart. She is driven to create, and I saw this not only in my ceramics classes, but also in Destination Imagination. In DI, she did not want to be a part of the skit. She only wanted to help create the set. She painted and made jewelry and sewed costumes. When she didn't know how to do something, she would teach herself how. She worked tirelessly and passionately to help create a beautiful, full production. I would come into the DI room and find her working on jewelry and costumes, often by herself. But even if the rest of the team was there meeting and discussing, she would quietly be working away. Her team came in 7th at Global Finals competition her first year in the program and 13th this year. One of my favorite memories of Amber was when she learned how to use a nail gun. We were involved with a ceramics project that included building a raku kiln. We had to construct a windscreen around the kiln area, which involved building a wooden frame. Amber was interested in learning how to use all the power tools, but she really liked using the nail gun. Amber was the boss of the nail gun. Anytime that nail gun needed to be used, there would be Amber nailing away. She is quick to learn and appreciate how any technique or tool will help her express her vision, and she applies that easily. For her artistic nature and her pursuit of an art education, Amber is receiving the Art Award this year. Next year, Amber will be going to the Otis Art Institute in Los Angeles. There she will continue to develop the tools and the techniques she will use to express her artistic vision. I think Amber will excel at any kind of art or design, and I look forward to seeing her work in the future. And now, Lorena. A dreamer. I have known Lorena for much of her life. I have had the pleasure of being involved with her in Destination Imagination for 7 years, where she has been a state champion 6 times in every year for the past 5 years. For me, Lorena embodies the spirit of a dreamer. A dreamer, someone who is not restricted by boundaries, for dreams have no boundaries. She is creative, intelligent, innocent, and stubbornly persistent. I saw this in her first year of DI for her choice of a role in the skit. She stubbornly insisted on being a cat, even though this story didn't need one. Being a dreamer is not being incapable. Anyone who has seen Lorena in action in the classroom, speech, or Destination Imagination knows what a capable and enthusiastic participant she is. In speech competition, performing a one-person play that required intense focus and doing it with excellence. And this year in Destination Imagination, working with her team to create a first place in a Da Vinci Award-winning global finals production. She takes her enthusiasm and curiosity into everything she does, and the joy is in the journey. Following a dream requires buoyancy, that ability to just bounce back and keep going no matter what the obstacle. I've seen this quality in Lorena many times, and there is a real power to it. In her first year at Global Finals, her team came in last. In her last year at Global Finals, her team came in first. There was a lot of bouncing back in between. Being a dreamer also requires anchors. People who support and help you realize your dreams. You have had great anchors here. Your friends, your family, and your community that loves you. I hope you will always choose your anchors wisely. There's a quote by Joseph Campbell that I think especially applies to dreamers. Follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors for you where there were only walls. Lorena has been accepted to study creative writing at California State at Long Beach. But wherever you go, Lorena, keep dreaming. Keep being who you are. But come back and share your dreams, whether they're expressed in a book, a movie, a play, or maybe just in a conversation over a cup of tea.
Right, before introducing our Distinguished Service and Pioneer Award recipients, we would like to thank all of our faculty and staff. Would you all please stand to receive this token of our appreciation?
I would like to call upon Dr. Bell and Ms. Bauman to present the Distinguished Service Award and the Pioneer Award.
Thank you, Malat and Kayla. Before we announce the recipient of this year's Distinguished Service Award, I would like to extend some very special thank yous to people. First of all, we had a glitch yesterday and our technology seems to be working smoothly today, so thank you to Tony and Glenn for staying up late. We were able to send out the link to that. As you've seen today, there are a lot of different loose pieces of this particular ceremony with all the awards that are given, ingredients to that. That was all organized by our academic and college counselor, Matt Fleshman. So thank you for doing such a great job. And I also wanted to recognize and thank Nancy Watkins. She's here with us today, and all of our international students, are beneficiaries of all the time that Nancy dedicates to our school as an immigration lawyer, and so many selfless times, troubleshooting late into the night and early morning. So Nancy, thank you so much. Is Celeste here? I wanted to recognize Celeste Simpson Good, yeah, because school is a complex institution. And Celeste knows that probably more than most as our administrative director. And just recently, she really helped at the last minute. We said, our diploma doesn't match the name of the school now that we have just Maharishi School. And could you create a new diploma for us in 3 days? And so the diploma that you'll see and hear the text of tomorrow will be her handiwork. I want to thank Celeste for that and many other contributions. Thank you. And last but hardly least, Miss Asha is the architect of our entire operation here, the organizing the desserts, the layout, so many pieces of this. And as was recognized last night by the students themselves, a very beloved member of our community and our school. Thank you, Miss Asha. So I know it'll come as a total shock to many of you that sometimes I get choked up on occasion. It's something that runs in my family. But one of the biggest triggers for me is gratitude. Is when I feel really great appreciation for someone's contribution, their achievement, or just their compassion. So having that affliction and working in this school is like a hypochondriac working in a hospital. Because everywhere I look, I feel gratitude every day for the care and commitment of our teachers, for the dedication of our administration and staff. Here we go. For the enthusiasm and achievements of our students, and for the support of our parents, our board members, and our community. So that makes presenting this year's Distinguished Service Award a challenging task, because I and our entire community feel such gratitude for the recipient. For about 15 years, this recipient has been giving and giving and giving. More about him in a moment, but would you please join me in giving back a little bit right now to this year's Distinguished Service Award winner, Mr. Mark Wilkins. Mark is a dedicated teacher of the Transcendental Meditation technique and our science of creative intelligence. He's modeled for the students both the profound and the playful experience in the study of consciousness. He supervises our boys program every morning, day in, day out for years, totally responsible, totally dependable, regardless of the weather or conditions. He shared his ceramics expertise with countless students, making countless pots of sometimes indescribable shapes, always with resolute patience and kindness. He's led many camping trips, sharing his love of and knowledge of nature and recreational sports, and he's had something to do with a program called DI. I've never known Mark to say no. Can we borrow your truck? Could you help us move some chairs? Can you cover a class? For so many of these reasons, Mark, to me, is the embodiment. There we go. Of our core values of respect, responsibility, solutions, service, and transcending. Think about those elements and what they mean, and Mark is the embodiment of that. I wanted to give others an opportunity to express their appreciation of Mark today. So just very quickly today, some others had that chance. And so I want to share some of those with you now, and they'll all be passed along to Mark. I wasn't able to share with you now all of those. But one comes from one of our MCs today, Caleb Molyneux, who writes that when I was little, before I'd even been in DI or even met Mark, I started saying hi to him in the hallways because I knew he was someone I wanted to talk to. 10 years later, I know him as the wise, compassionate father away from home that he is. Jeremy Marks just said, when Mark enters the room, it's like a weight is lifted. Craig Shaw, who's the father of one of our graduates, a very successful Yale Shaw, said Mark has the ability to inspire every student in his class and DI activities. Through his assignments in SCI and DI leadership, he succeeded in helping to culture Yale's creativity, One summer, he used his precious summertime off to mentor Yale at his home in ceramics. As a result of his inspiration in DI, Mark helped inspire Yale to become a professional DI designer, and he's currently working as an industrial product designer in San Francisco. Mark's creativity is contagious. Thank you always. Jeremy Jones wrote, "Mark has the best grin." His outgoing joy and positivity is contagious. He's unfazed by anything and is a great example of hands-off leadership to truly empower students. Celeste wrote, "Mark is the embodiment of patience, compassion, perseverance, and unconditional love. He guides, teaches, and leads with a potter's touch." Anna Unger, who's here after her first year at Sarah Lawrence. "Mark is every kid's or person's hero. He treats everyone he meets with kindness and love, and he's always genuine. He takes care of us all, helps make the DI program fantastic, and a place of open, creative, out-of-the-box ideas. More broadly, a community, a family." And lastly, I better not miss this is from my wife. So I appreciate your contribution, Andrea. Andrea wrote, "I have no stories to tell, only 9 years of observing an extraordinary human being. Mark Wilkins is one of the most dedicated teachers I've ever met. He's totally endeared himself to his students through his blissful, kind, generous, patient, and caring personality. He is skilled in the craft he teaches and is a radiant role model as an SCI teacher. As centered as the gorgeous pottery he creates, Mark is a living example of one who is truly grounded in the higher self." Please welcome and congratulate again.
It's a complete surprise. You know, you go through your life, and I've had the opportunity to be inspired by several people in a really big way. The first of those is Maharishi. When I first met Maharishi in 1969, it was a life-changing experience. And I wouldn't be here, maybe even literally wouldn't be here, had I not met him. And as I've gone on and taught and tried to hold the dignity that I felt from him, it just guided my life. And somewhere along the line, I had kids. And I found out when I had kids that I really liked kids. And so kids became a part of my life and have always been since the day my first son was born. And I can't tell you how much bliss I get from working with kids. And then I was inspired by Mark Headley, who will forever be Mark 1 to me. He had a way of making kids work to solve challenges that I've never been able to figure out. He was just really good at it, and it inspired me to see the program that he had started and was running. And when he decided he needed to go back to Seattle, one day I was walking down to my car, and he was walking up. And we met in the middle, and he said, "Oh, by the way, I told him you were going to take over the DI program." So that has been a real source of bliss. And I find Dr. Bell an inspiration. His leadership and his vision for the school has inspired me to stay on, even though sometimes I feel like, well, I'd like to retire. But it's all following your bliss. Whether it's working with kids, teaching pottery, just coming here every day to do program with the boys in the morning. It's just following your bliss. So if that ends up being distinguished service, let's all follow our bliss.
I get to express one more wave of gratitude, and that is for Miss Bauman. And she's been right hand, left hand, done so much, everything this year in so many ways to support our students' progress, our teachers, every part of our school community. As was said last night by maybe Alyssa, I think, someone that Miss Bauman does the jobs no one else wants to do, and sometimes that's the case. So let's give her a job she loves doing.
Emotional day, isn't it? That's for me. This class of 2017 is an extraordinary class, as is obvious from what's been said about them. They are a coherent group of young men and women, and every one of them is intelligent, kind, motivated, generous, talented, and lovable. I'm honored today to be able to speak about one of them who's been chosen by the faculty to be the Pioneer Award recipient, and that's Ms. Jivani Rodriguez. Would you? The Pioneer Award is given not for academics or extracurricular activities, although, as you know, Pioneer Award recipients are high academic achievers and they're involved in extracurriculars. And you've heard about Jivani's achievements from Jan Thatcher. No, the Pioneer Award is really given for extraordinary character. Jivani has a strong sense of justice and is sensitive to the needs of others. Always willing to speak up if she feels someone is being treated unfairly, or ask for help for a friend if she sees a problem that requires attention. She's a young woman whose awareness of others is as strong as her self-awareness, and I think that's a rare quality at any age. This quality makes her a great team player. She wants everyone to succeed. One of her teachers said, "She helps others, notices when they have challenges, and is ready to pitch in and offer whatever they need." Jivani is also funny, which when I first knew her, it surprised me. I saw her as a quiet, intellectual girl. And she is those things, but she also has a crazy sense of humor. I mostly got to see that when she was on stage, or during Halloween, or on our ugly sweater days when she consistently took first prize. However, this sense of humor of hers is more than just entertaining, because as a team player, she will use it to uplift those around her. Finally, Jivani truly appreciates her meditation, her TM and TM City program. I think she feels at home in that unbounded field of life, and knows that it's important for her success. Wherever she goes, I know she'll take that with her. I'm excited to see your life unfold, Jivani. You and all of your classmates will have a powerful influence whatever you decide to do. And I was thinking, especially in our current political climate, I like to think of our world led by men and women like yourselves. Leaders with intelligence, compassion, creativity, generosity, and a sense of humor, which we really need. I have confidence in the future because of what I see here and now. And I know you'll all make us proud. You'll hear from Jeevani tomorrow during our graduation. Oh, Jeevani, here.
We would also like to thank the upper school administrators for their efforts throughout the year. First, I'd like to thank Dr. Bell. Thank you for being the heart and soul that keeps Maharishi School alive. You have put so much of yourself into this school, and it shows. No one works harder or cares more than you. You once said that you and Andrea feel that the students here are like your children, and I hope you know that you have become such an incredible guardian and role model to us all. None of this would be possible without you. Thank you.
Ms. Bauman, thank you for all you do to enhance the lives of students. You put so much time into organizing events and expressing students' concerns to the board so that the school can be a comfortable place for everyone. You always have the best interests in mind so we can prosper in the classroom and as individuals. Your constant drive to bring the best out of everyone is inspiring and something we can all learn from. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this special day with our senior class. We are grateful for the contributions that each of you made over the course of our lives. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for our graduation ceremony. Dr. Bell will now conclude with announcements.
Thank you again, Malat. Kayla, good job. Yes, as Malat said, so tomorrow our event begins at 1:30, and we hope everyone will come early so we can start on time. People that are, waiting on the online live streaming are kind of uncertain about it when we're not starting then. So 1:30 tomorrow afternoon we'll begin, and the students will be here at 12:30, right? The seniors know to be here at 12:30 for photographs and all. And then Miss Ash, you want the junior class? Yeah. So the junior class, their parents and faculty should stay after here with Miss Asha to make last-minute changes and preparations for tomorrow's graduation ceremony. We're really excited, thrilled to have Jenny Rothenberg-Gritz with us to speak tomorrow. Very excited about that. Most accomplished alumni. So please share that word in the community. Tell folks to come out and hear the graduation presentations tomorrow. We look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much.